I don't think words can begin to explain how little and how much I hate this Jar Jar kit. So, what's up, everybody? We finally have the kit for Jar Jar Binks, and as many were probably expecting, it's as stupid could come. So Jar Jar is a light side, obviously Gungan support. Um, um, I've read through his kit a little bit, but whenever I saw that there is a percent chance for something to happen, I immediately noped out of this because I don't never far nothing. I don't fucking like percent chances of anything. I'm not a fan of loot boxes. I'm not a fan of their stupid, oh, you can get this as a chance from packs and all that crap. I'm not a fan of it. So the fact that they've now added percent chances into his kit, into a kit to start, is not something I like to see happening. So, okay, so his event's going to be dropping on May the 2nd at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And it'll last for a week, similar to the Bo-Katan. Well, not similar to the Bo-Katan one. Maybe it was like the Bo-Katan was that one? Was that long for the first time around? I don't know. I don't care. I don't have access to Bo yet, so obviously you'll need all the other Gungans, Relic 5. His stuff will be GAC and blah, 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 blah. So let's just get into the kit because the kit is something else. His basic. I'm so flustered right now. I can't even get the words out of my mouth because of how little and how much I don't like this kit. His basic is how wooed. It is special damage to all enemies, so he gets an AoE basic, how lovely. On his turn, one of 3 effects will occur. You will inflict death mark on one turn to the healthless enemy, which cannot be resisted if they have at least 3 debuffs. So with the amount of debuffs the Gungans can be spreading out, that would probably be basically a guaranteed death mark. Or the weakest Gungan ally gains damage immunity for a turn. So great, we have damage immunity on top of the Phalanx being able to taunt constantly, the Plasma Generator being stupid, or Gungan allies gain tenacity up for a turn. Okay, so that's not horrible. You might be asking, why do you bring up percent chances of stuff? Well, it all starts in the basic right here. Additionally, this attack has a 0.01% chance to instantly defeat a random enemy, which cannot be evaded. It's increased to a 1% chance if there are any separatist enemies. This attack cannot be countered. So, CG, for some reason, I know everyone's like, it's Jar Jar. Of course he has to have some sort of chaotic mess in his kit. Yeah, but we didn't need it to be percent chances of things happening. No, absolutely not. Even it's a 0.01% chance if there's no separatists, but a 1% chance if there are any separatist enemies on the team. I'm not a fan of it. And yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not a fan. So I'm not a fan of Jar Jar's kit. Okay. I'm also not a fan of the Gungans the way they've been rolled out as a whole, just because the Gungans are just a bit of a meme faction, and I really just didn't want them added to the game. I'm happy for people that wanted them added, but I just do not care about the Gungans. His first special is Big Boomas. It has a 4-turn cooldown, it has an Omni, so no Zeta on it. Another AoE with special damage. If the enemy had protection, you stun them for a turn. Otherwise, they are inflicted with 3 stacks of expose for a turn. And then here comes more percent chances of shit happening. You have a 0.01% chance all enemies lose all TM and are inflicted with fear for a turn, which cannot be copied, dispelled, or resisted. It's increased to a 1% chance yet again if there's any separate enemies. So as you'll see throughout all of his kit, it's always a base 0.01% chance, 1% if there's any sort of separatist enemies on the opposing team. So, yippee-ki-yay. And if all allies are Gungans, all enemies are inflicted with plasma residue for a turn, which cannot be copied. What plasma residue does is this character loses 100% evasion. If the character becomes inflicted with shock, he deal reduce massive damage to all enemies with plasma residue, and then remove all instances of plasma residue. I think that's a direct tie-in to... Oh, which other Gungan is it? It's one of the other Gungans that does ridiculous amounts of damage. Was it Boomadiers? Probably. I don't know. It's someone's. I don't remember who it is, but whatever. And then the Omicron for this bit. For the big boomas is while you're in grand arenas and all allies of Gungans, you dispel bonus protection and protection up on all enemies, and they lose 5% max health and max protection stacking, which cannot be evaded for the rest of the encounter. You then inflict enemies with protection disruptions for a turn. So on top of, you throwing plasma residue on them and then throwing protection disruption, and they're losing max health and max protection stacking, you just keep throwing more stuff on top of them. Also, the plasma residue cannot be resisted. So apparently it could. Well, I know. Oh, it said it can't be copied. So maybe it can be resisted. I don't know. But then in GAC, it'll look like it can't be resisted. Whenever this ability is reduced, whenever it's used, you reduce the cooldown of all other Gungan allies' abilities by 1. So there's another quick way for you to just be constantly spamming your attacks with the Gungan action. Yippee-ki-yay. The second special is Wisa Warriors. It's 5-turn cooldown with a Zeta. You deal damage to the target enemy and a random enemy. Gungan allies recover 10% protection. Another 0.01% chance that all Gungan allies will recover 100% protection and health. And then on top of that, gain 100% CM and Foresight for 2 turns. And that's increased to a 1% chance if there are any separatist enemies. So, I mean, yeah, it's only like you have a 1% chance out of 100% chance of actually having it land if it's against a separatist team, but it's still a very beneficial thing to have happen if it does happen for you. If all allies are Gungans, excluding summoned allies, for each different debuff on target enemy or random enemy that can be copied or dispelled, excluding stacking debuffs, that debuff is dispelled and inflicted on that enemy for a turn. Why? These debuffs cannot be dispelled or resisted. All enemies are inflicted with 2 stacks of frustration for a turn, which cannot be copied. So, depending on how many different debuffs they have on them that can be copied or dispelled, like the enemy, those are dispelled and then inflicted. Oh, okay, so it's on the target enemy or rain enemy. It's then put onto the target enemy for a turn. That's okay. And frustration deals different detrimental effects based on number of cumulative stacks. 1 stack you can't assist or counterattack. 2 stacks is whenever this enemy gains bonus TM, you remove 2 stacks of recharge from the enemy shield generator and expose this target for 2 turns. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. Getting stuff mixed up because frustration's on your enemies and then they're taking the recharge off your shield generator. 3 stacks, the special abilities are unusable for a turn or one attack. Remove all stacks of frustration after his attack. Well, that's annoying. I mean, kind of like Alcestis' basic, where you can't use any other specials. So I mean that makes sense. Okay, that's nifty. His first unique is Misa Okide. It has a Zeta Omicron. As per the norm with these Gungans, he'll lose 75% max health and gain that much max protection. At the start of the battle, he's inflicted with Death Mark until he receives damage for evades an attack. The evade attack thing will kind of make sense in a second. If the enemy leader is a separatist at the start of the encounter, Jar Jar gains 50 extra speed for the rest of the encounter. And then Jar Jar's debuffs cannot be evaded and he cannot be called to assist, which CG had to clarify in the comments down here. It's where did it go? It was somewhere down here. It was just so that way Boomadir can't constantly be called to assist. Not Boomadir. Boomadir can't call Jar Jar to constantly assist. Okay. So whenever another character gains Foresight, Jar Jar gains Foresight for a turn. Whenever Jar Jar gains Foresight, he dispels it and blinds himself for a turn. Whenever Jar Jar evades a basic ability, the enemy that missed is inflicted with stack of frustration for the turn at the start of the next turn, which cannot be copied or resisted. So basically, someone gains Foresight, he blinds himself, and then whenever he uses his basic, if he uses a basic the next time, then that enemy's given a stack of frustration. Whenever an enemy dazes, staggers, or stuns a Gungan ally, Death Mark is thrown back onto Jar Jar until he receives damage for evades an attack. Okay, so now for the stupid part of all of it. If there's an active allied shield generator, Jar Jar has plus 1000% evasion. Whenever a character gains bonus TM, Jar Jar has a 1% chance of gaining a bonus turn, increased to 10% chance if there's an enemy. Well, if it's an enemy. So basically, if you try to run the Imperial Troopers against this, you're giving Jar Jar a 10% chance of gaining a bonus turn whenever you gain TM. Whenever this effect occurs, Jar Jar cannot gain another bonus turn from this ability for 2 turns. So it's not going to be like constant Jar Jar going. But it is annoying that the fact that while the shield generator is active, he has plus 1000% evasion. And then, you know, all the other hoopla that comes with the shield generator. And then while we're in Grand Arena and all allies are Gungans, whenever the shield generator uses Plasma Pulse, you reset all of Jar Jar's cooldowns, and whenever a Gungan ally is dazed, staggered, or stunned, they dispel it and gain shield up 25% for 2 turns. So that's a nifty little panic cleanse right there. And then, not a fan of Plasma Pulse resetting Jar Jar's cooldowns, but it is what it is. Now for his second unique, he doesn't have a leadership, obviously, because he's a support. Is Mui Mui I Love You. With a Zeta Omicron. Gungan allies has plus 75% accuracy for whatever reason. If the enemy leader is separatist at the start of the encounter, all Gungan allies gain 50% max protection until the end of the encounter, or Jar Jar is defeated for the first time. So, I mean, they'll lose 50% max protection whenever Jar Jar dies, or until the battle ends, whichever one comes first. At the start of the first turn, if there are no GLs, all enemies are inflicted with a stack of frustration for his turn. It increases to 3 stacks if they are stealth, so that's a handy way of dealing with Grievous teams, which cannot be resisted. If different enemies take consecutive turns, a random Gungan ally gains a bonus turn, so that kind of definitely that hardcore stops the Imperial Troopers. Whenever Jar Jar misses an attack on his turn, all other Gungan allies assist once per turn, dealing 50% less damage. Annoying, so even if it's not his basic he's using, if he uses one of his specials and it misses, the Gungans are going to be assisting. Whenever the allied shield generator uses Plasma Pulse, Gungan allies can ignore attack for a turn. Well, not ignore attack, ignore protection for 1 attack. I am getting my words mixed up. You would think I could read, considering I'm 26 years old, but apparently I'm just unable to read sentences properly. And if there's an active allied shield generator, Gungan allies cannot drop below 100% health while they have protection and cannot be instantly defeated. Well, that's fucking stupid. So we have to drop them below 100% health before we kill them. Or we have to get rid of the shield generator to ensure that little tidbit goes away. That's spectacular, CG. You're not just a clown, you're the whole circus now. And then while we're in Grand Arenas and all allies are Gungans, at the start of the first turn, the allied shield generator gains 2 stacks of plasma shielding for every 3 relic amplifier levels Jar Jar has. Okay, so that's where Jam was saying they want us to R9 or Jar Jar. Absolutely not. That is not happening. And whenever a non-Gungan ally gains damage immunity, all Gungan allies gain damage immunity per turn. Why would you not want to put a full Gungan team? Oh wait, a non-Gungan enemy. Okay, that makes sense. Whenever Gungan ally gains a bonus turn from its ability, they gain 5% mastery until the end of the encounter. So, wait a second here. Like I just said, CG, you're not just a clown, you're the whole circus now. This is stupid, to put it lightly. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not a fan of RNG chances of things happening. I know it's like the whole point of like some of my gamer tags are RNG, Ginger Jesus. That's the whole point of it, you know, RNGs is blah, 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 blah. But like, it's not here or there. I'm not a fan of the RNG stuff as it is. It's supposed to be a joke. And then the fact that they're putting even just a minute chance of something happening in a kit just because it's Jar Jar Binks is fucking ridiculous. And yes, this is kind of straying off into how my videos normally go instead of the normal kit reveal, but like, I'm not a fan of it, okay? I wasn't really a fan of the Gungans being added in the first place because I didn't really think it would be... I mean, yeah, sure, they're an iconic faction from Star Wars, but they're also the butt of a lot of jokes because Jar Jar led to the creation of the Empire and Chancellor Palpatine rising to power because he was manipulated by him. So you're letting this buffoon manipulate the game even more by having these just random off chances of things happening whenever he uses an attack or something, and then there's the off chance that something will happen in his specials, and not specials, in his unique. Like, where was it? Was it unique? I guess it was one unique. Maybe I'm just remembering things wrong now, but like, and then do you want us to push in a relic 9 so we can give the shield generator 6 extra stacks of plasma shielding? Have you lost your marbles, CG? You're already wanting people. Here's the thing. You're already wanting people to panic farm or panic buy 4 Gungans for this guy to come to get him on May the 2nd, right? Or if you don't get him May the 2nd and the week after, like through May the 9th, you know, you have a week to get Jar Jar. Cool. So you have, realistically, let's pull up the calendar real quick. What, a week and 3 days? So you have 9 days basically to get 5 Gungans bought up, shard-wise. You have to have the cryos ready, you need to have the relic mats ready and all that to get him a relic 5, right? But what if you're going to push him relic 7? And obviously you'll have to push him relic 7 if you want to, and blah 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 blah. So if you want people to do that, right? Just to get this circus clown of a character to do better in a raid that hasn't come out yet, after you drop the ball on territory battle, which is one of the cornerstone parts of this game that you fucked up because you were trying to add the planet Mandalore before it was even ready to drop. I don't think so. I know the Mandalore and Jar Jar and Gungans thing don't really correlate, but after having them, like, you know, completely have to gut and, like, remove territory battles for a week because they messed up the release of, well, they accidentally pushed out Mandalore before it was ready, and it completely broke territory battles, or the Rise of the Empire one. I don't really think, I mean, I personally was never going to be wailing on the Gungans anyways. This is just yet another whale bait faction, so that way you can get him and ruin people's days in Grand Arena, obviously. But like, so this isn't obviously catered to me, it's catered to people that wanted the Gungans and all that. So maybe I'm just being a cynic. And yeah, this video is getting long in the tooth anyways. So let me know what you think of Jar Jar's coming in a week and a half. Less than that, actually. A week, 9 days from whenever this video goes up. Probably 8, closer to whenever people start watching it. But yeah, chaos is coming, and it all is down to the Gungans and Jar Jar spearheading that assault. So that will be something to look forward to if you want. But yeah. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. This is getting, like I said, really long. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. I hope you have a good rest of your day.